Greetings everyone watching us on Learn ICT with Teacher Isaiah. If it is your first time watching us on this YouTube channel, please subscribe and like, comment anything you want to learn in ICT. I'll definitely have it delivered to you on this channel so that you can easily gather skills or anything you want to learn as far as ICT is concerned. Well, I would like to first of all thank you for watching the previous videos, that is chapter 1 or part 1 of Microsoft Word and part 2 of Microsoft Word. As of now, this video is having part 3 of Microsoft Word. So in case you've missed any of the previous videos, please go to the description below. I have the links there for part 1 and part 2 in case you missed anything. Watch keenly. There is always an exercise at the end of the video, so please don't forget to subscribe. After watching, comment anything you want to learn or anything you feel like you need more elaboration as far as the video is concerned. Well, previously we've looked at the different tabs, that is the home tab, the insert, the design. And today our main focus is going to be the layout and then other tabs, and we see how we shall end it. If we do not have, if we do not finish all the remaining tabs, that means we shall be concluding this probably in part 4. So please subscribe, hit the bell so that you are always notified when there is a new video that is uploaded, because there is a more lot of this kind that is coming up. So today our focus is going to be on the layout, and we're going to see how to apply different features when we come to layout. We're going to start with the margin. The margin is, we are looking at the distance from the beginning of the document to the paragraph or to the text. And the distance there is the margin we are talking about. It can be from the top to the paragraph, from the left to the paragraph, or from the right to the paragraph, or even from the bottom. So most of these margins are always predefined, and though you can also have your own margins in case you have a given setting that you want, or a given kind of scale that you want as a person. So when I come to margins, you can see that we have moderate, we have narrow, we have normal, we have custom setting, we have wide, mirrored, we have very many. As you can see, you can have Office 23 default. So let me say if I choose narrow, you see that it a little bit pushed the text above with close to the beginning of the document. And if I choose wide, it will definitely become something, it makes the margins wider from the beginning of the document, the left side, and even from the top to the paragraph, the margins are wider compared to the rest. So that is for the margins. You can even, let's choose mirrored, you can see that any kind of, the arrow is predefined. Let me take it back to normal, and that is it. So in case you want more options as far as the margins are concerned, you would come to custom margins, and then you have your own customization. You can customize your own, like top, you put some inches to the left, to the bottom, to the right, and then simply say okay. You'll have that setting as you would have set it. That is for the margins. Margins are basically the distance you have from the beginning of the document up to the text. From the top to the bottom, from the top to the paragraph, and from the bottom to the paragraph, something like that. That is basically for the margins. And then if we look at orientation, this is basically seeing how the document is oriented. Is it in portrait or is it in landscape? Portrait is basically, as you're seeing it right now, it is in a standing mode. It is vertical. When it is vertical, then it is in portrait. When you see it sleeping, kind of, it is in landscape. As you can see, if I say landscape, the document is coming so wider, it's in a horizontal way. That is basically for orientation. We are putting a document either in portrait or in landscape. There are many ways why you would put your document in a portrait format, or why you would want your document to be in landscape format. Let me say, for example, if you have a certificates, most of them like coming in landscape format, or you would want to see your documents in a wider range like the way it is right now, or you would want to print in a landscape format as you will be seeing it in the preview. So that is for orientation. I think let's put back our document to portrait. You've understood that for orientation. Yeah, that is it basically. And then we have the page size. What size do you want your page to be having? We have the standard size. We have there are very many other sizes. When it comes to sizes here, I'll have very many other options. The standard size is A4, that is basically mostly used, but there are very many others. Let me say the legal, we have the letter, we have the A5. So depending on what you want as a person, the document you are working on, you definitely choose. And in case you do not find your preference around this, you can come and choose more pages. And when you choose more pages, you can see that we have variety. We have variety here. You can come and choose from any of those ones, and after putting it to the set size that you want, you can simply say okay, and it will definitely come the way you wanted it to be. Let me put back this document back to F4. Okay, hopefully you've seen the size as well. I'm going to be applying some of them, but I'm giving you the idea. Hopefully you're getting it right. So please, in case you do not understand anything, feel free to comment, and I have my WhatsApp number in the description. You can also inbox me, ask me anything you would want to learn and anything you would want to comment about this video. Or in case you want private coaching, private teaching as a person, yes, you can reach out to me and we see how we can fix it together. So that is for margin, orientation, and size. Margin, we said the distance from the beginning to the document to the text, either from the left, right, bottom, top or bottom. And then orientation is basically either in landscape or portrait. And then size, what size do you want to carry with your document? Could it be executive? Could it be legal, letter? Anything you want as a person, basing on what kind of document you are working on, because some document come with given, for example, you might get an application or a job description that is telling you to write a letter, and you should submit your letter probably maybe in an executive format, maybe in an A5 format, something like that. Hopefully you get the idea. Yes, that is for size. And then we have what we call columns. We have columns. We might want to put this work of ours in columns. For example, if I say, let me first copy this. We said copy is Ctrl+C, as it was said in the video 1. So let me put this work on page 2 so that I can have the original up there. So I'll simply go to another page. I come to insert, say black page, and then I insert there. Okay, let me make it more good. So in case I have this work of mine and I would want to have this work in columns, so I will highlight this work. That is you hold left and then simply move down below until you feel that all the text is highlighted. So we shall come to columns, and we can choose either to have 2 columns, you can choose to have 3 columns, you can choose to have the left, the right, but in this case I prefer we use the more options or the more columns, because it has everything that you might want. So you can see that we already have the 2 columns, the 3 columns, left or right. You can choose any. So in this case, let me say I choose to use 2 columns. I will say okay. You see that? My work is appearing in 2 columns. My work is appearing in 2 columns. The work that I have just copied and pasted is in 2 columns, just like the way you see that. And then I can choose to put this work in 3 columns as well. Let me first put back, and then I just Ctrl+Z, that is for undo. in case you've missed in part 1, all those shortcuts were explained. So please go back to part 1, go to the link at the description, get the link for part 1, watch that and follow everything that you might have missed there. So when I come back to more columns, I said I like using more columns because it has all more other options. Those ones can also work in case you just want a 2 or 3. So when I come to columns, I choose 3 columns. Do you get that? So now I have 3 columns. How about if I wanted to put a line to separate these columns? For example, now we have the columns, but I don't have a line separating them. So you might find a question with like, put a line to separate these columns after getting the columns. So I'll simply, okay, let me just do that. We have the columns. So I come to more columns and I choose, there is always an option of line between. So you just check in that checkbox, just tick there and then say okay. You'll see a line separating these 2 columns, so these 3 columns. You get the point. Some people go ahead to go to insert, they come to insert, they come to shapes, and they get this line and simply come, let me draw it this side, and you see simply come and draw it this side. It might give you what you want, though we are always looking at having this other one. You see, they are basically the same, though sometimes you may draw it not straight, not properly very well, and probably in case you have any shift of the work, this is going to remain the same position. It will not move, not like the one which is predefined. In case you don't have work this way, it will also disappear. So it is better use the one with the columns. Let me remove this. I will simply Ctrl Z and it will disappear. Well, that is for columns. There is let me see if we've left anything there. So you can also apply to this section this point forward, wall document, equal columns width. Now let us look at breaks. Let me go back to my document 1. If I come to breaks, we see that it has different options. We have different options. We have a page, column, text wrapping, next page, continuous, even page, and odd page. Let us get to know what each of them does. So for example, let me start with let me copy still this work. Let me copy this work and I take it to another page so that I work from there and keep the original for other features so that we do not over misuse it. So I'll simply come here and I get to another document. Let me just press enter, I go there. Okay. So here we are. We have this kind of text and we want to see how these breaks are going to be helping us. The first one is page break. In part 2 we talked about page breaks, so you can simply review the link in the description in case you missed part 1, so that you can part 2, so that you can see how we can use page breaks. However, it is just simply pushing this to another page. So if I clicked here and I wanted this paragraph to appear on another page, I'll simply come to breaks and then I choose page. This will have gone to just the next page. As you can see, I now have one paragraph here and the paragraph is on another page. That is for page break or breaks page. So it is breaks and page, so it is going to push this work to another page. Let me see, let's look at the one for column. Let me first put this in 2 columns. Highlight this paragraph, I put in 2 columns. Okay, it is okay. Let me put it into 3. Okay, it is appearing. Fine. We have this, but I might want to see this paragraph in the other column. I might want to see this paragraph at the beginning. There, this kind of another paragraph, but after this full stop, I would want to see this kind of text to the next column. So I simply come to breaks and then I choose column. You see that it has pushed the work that was here to another column. And also, since the other text has also come here, I would also want to push it. Let me say from here, I would want to push whatever is here to the next column. So I'll simply come to breaks and then choose course. It will go there. You see that? So you might put columns to your text and you feel like the text has not reached where you wanted it to be. So you can simply push it there with the breaks for the columns. And that is it for the columns. So let's go to another. Let me go to this paragraph now that we have down here. We have text wrap. For example, in a document, you've been reading magazines and newspapers. There is a time you feel like you sorry, you have maybe you would want to wrap text to your work. For example, you do not want to okay, let us go to another one. Now we have wrap text. This one is basically to separate objects from a given text. You might be having a text with an object or an image, and you would want to separate the text from it. You simply highlight the text and then choose the text wrap. That is, if you have an object, you separate the object from the text. We have the next page. This one we have looked at several times. It will push the work to the next page. We have continuous. This will not push work to the next page. For example, if I wanted to put a continuous break here, I'll come and say continuous. It will push the work, but on the same line. It will not go to another page. That is for continuous. We have the even. This will push work to an even page, and the odd page, it will push work to an odd page. I think we can try out one of them and we see. So let me say odd page. You see that it will push work, and you might have left, for example, it will not have left because of the order. If it was even, you would have left a free page and then run straight to even page. So that is it for the breaks. Basically, that is it for the breaks. We have the line numbers. This is going to help us capture the number of lines in a paragraph or in a given text that you have. So if I click line numbers, it will give us each number of lines that we have. Okay, you get the point. It will be calculating for us each number of lines that we have in our text. We have also hyphenation. Let me first move that. We have also hyphenation. You've been reading magazines and different more than text. Whenever you have probably some words that are not fitting in the line, they are hyphenated. So they are basically showing you that it would have fit here, but there is, for example, if I have a word that would have to continue, let me put hyphenation so that we can see how it runs. So if I had this text and I said hyphenation and say automatic, you see that changes around here. Let me repeat that. If I said hyphenation, and then you're going to see that changes around this part. So I said automatic. You see, this word here was not fitting there, so it is computer, so it is hyphenated. And then we have also print can efficiently. Efficient was not fitting here, so now it is fitting there, but then they're telling you that this word is continuing. You get the point? So that is basically with a hyphenation, and that is how it's going to be working. You've already seen this happening in the newspapers and in novels and all those other readable documents that you always carry with you. And then we have indent. I did not, I think, tell you more of indent. I told you in part 1 that we shall look at indent more. So here we are for indent. We are basically pushing work to the right or to the left. We are in part 1, we are calling it increasing indent and decreasing indent. So you can increase indent with the number of inches that you want as a person, So in case you see, if I increase here, you see it going to the right side. You can have your work indented like that, or anyway you can play around with the inches that you have as a person, where you want it. And let me say, if we want to have hanging indent, now is we shall simply press Ctrl and T for hanging indent. In case you feel like you would want to put hanging indent, press Ctrl and T. You see that? Highlight, Ctrl and T. That is for hanging indent. If you want your work to be having a hanging indent, you can simply press that. And then also to increase your indent, you can also use the shortcut Ctrl and M. Ctrl M. You will have your work indented like that. You see that? Whenever you press Ctrl and M, your work will keep with the indenting. Okay, that is it for indenting. And then we also have paragraph spacing. Paragraph spacing is basically pushing the paragraph from the top or to the bottom. The distance from that document, or from the distance that it takes for another paragraph to appear. Let me say if I have this one and I want to increase its that is, we have before and after. So before is up here and after is before the paragraph and then after the paragraph. You get the idea. So anything above is before the paragraph and anything below is before the paragraph. So if I'm to increase here, you'll see that the paragraph is pushing itself down. And if I'm to increase here, you'll see that everything below after the paragraph is also pushing itself. So this is before the paragraph and this is after the paragraph. So you're spacing the paragraph to be freely, depending on what you want, your own specifications, or on your scale that you want to have your document typed or presented or formatted, something like that. That is for indent and then spacing. So these other options, I think we cover them when we are looking at images and shapes in part 2. I think it's part 2. So in case you missed any of them, please go to the link below in the description, look for part 2, and then watch how these ones are going to work. Hope you remember how we sent the work behind text, how to do the wrap text, alignment. Maybe we can look at grouping some other time. That is basically having the documents together and rotating them. Yes, let us move to another tab now. Having looked at all these ones, we can now look at reference as another tab. We are basically looking at referring the content where basically you got it, the source or some other related information that you would want the user or someone reading your information to get to know, or to basically refer to where you got your content from. Maybe you're presenting an article or you're something like a blog, and you'd want someone to get the source of where you got your information from, something to add as far as your document is concerned. So we're going to look at all these features one at a time, and we shall see what they do and how they can help you when you are coming up with a good document in Microsoft Word. Well, let us start with table of content. When should we use table of content? It is very important that you use table of content every time that you have your work to do, because it makes the person reading your text or the document run to a given section very fast, depending on what they want to pick from it. For example, if basically you had an article and you have somewhere like in case you want scholarships, click here. So someone will just definitely go to the table of content, know the number of so that the page where you can get that, or simply click straight to the link on the table of content, straight to that page, and that is going to be making the work easy and more easy and more easy. So what we do here is we are going to learn how to insert table of content, because they are very important in our work. Okay, so what we shall do is table of content has levels. We shall always keep adding the levels depending on what you want as a person. There are levels, level 1, level 2, level 3, depending, because whenever you're having a given content, you always have the heading, let me say the topic, the subtopic, and something probably under the subtopic. That is how the levels are. So level 1 is basically the major topic, level 2 is a subtopic, and level 3 is anything that is a heading under the subtopic. So in case I only highlight the first thing that you would want to appear on the table of contents. So in case I wanted someone to click on file sharing, I'll come highlight a file sharing, come to add text, and I'll make that one level 1. You see that? So I'll then highlight another one and I make this one level 2. So that means this is going to be the topic, this is going to be the subtopic. As you can see, this is dark blue and this is light blue. So and then I'll make this one level 3. So I'll come and add level 3. So you see that this is going to be the major one, this is going to be under this one, and this will also be under this one. You're going to see when we the table of content. So I'll come and make this one level 1 again, so that we can have at least 2 level 1s. So when I come to now, I'm going to come and add a table of content, because remember the table of content will always appear on top of the document, because you cannot have a table of content below or even at the bottom of the document. Of what use is it? So to make use of it, it has to be basically on top of the document, so that someone can easily refer to where they want to go in the document. So I'll click. You have different templates here. You can choose any of the templates that you want. You can go to more table of content on office.com. If in case you want, you can customize, you can remove as well. Here are the options. So let me choose the first option of the table of content, and boom, we have it there. Content file. You see this is appearing first, and this is under file sharing, and this is also under resource sharing, because this is level 1, level 2, level 3. Okay, this is because they're all on page 1, but if we had a different page, you will see here 2, 3 and something like that. But the content we are having is all on page 1. That's why you have seen 1, 1, 1. Well, that is for the table of content. In case I add something here, let me say let me come and put this facility. I put here and this facility. Okay, let me push it down. Let me push it to another page. So I make this one level 2. So that means it's going to appear under the ICT. You see that? So we simply come to the table of content and then update. Yes, update. Update. You see that? So when I update, we see the facility which is on page 2. You see that? You simply come and update table, and whatever thing you'll have added will be updated automatically on the table of content. That is how we apply table of content in Microsoft Word. Let us look at something else. After looking at table of content, we have what we call footnote and an endnote. These ones serve the same purpose basically, but they are more like to emphasize or to bring something like a comment to something like someone would have to know in your document. For example, in case I want someone to know the meaning of resource, let me say someone doesn't know the meaning of, let me use this one. In case someone doesn't know the meaning of resource, so I would insert a footnote. A footnote appears at the end of the document, and as well as an end, appears at the end of the given content or text, or down at the bottom of the document. So in case I highlighted resource, I'll come and say insert footnote. They will drive you straight to the bottom. So you type here what you want to add at the end of the document. So you type here what you want to add on that. For example, resource, you can say any, let me come here, any let me say anything to help us with technology. You get that? So if you come word that we had put, you realize that we have a number 1 on it. You see that number 1, and then you click on that number 1. Oh, sorry, let me make this work build again, because I had reduced it because of that. Okay, here we are. Or is it? Okay, resource. So when you click on this number 1, you see that it brings whatever you've typed down there, anything to help us with technology. Resource is anything to help us with technology. You get that? So you can add that on a number of things. So probably you can use command computer and you add insert a footnote. You can say this is input, let me say input, process, store, and output. You get that? Oh, store has problems. Oh, space here with store. So when you come to computer, where could that be? Where did that be? Okay, computer, you see it now, it has 2. This one has 1 and this one has 2. That means this is footnote 2. And when you click there, it will tell you, as you can see on top there, input, process, store, and output. So that is basically for that. It is emphasizing, giving, elaborating something more in case there is a word you've used and you think users may not know what it is meaning. You definitely have to put something else to emphasize and give and throw an highlight on what it is basically for. And that is for the footnote. Let me say if we want to put now an end note. Let me use this one. When I come to maybe network and I want to put an end note, insert end note. The option is there. They will also drive you down and you put something you would want to put on a network. Let me say connection for communication. Connection for communication. So there, where was that? I think here, network. You see that? It also tells you connection for communication. So a footnote and end note definitely, I think they serve the same purpose. There's nothing more big there. Yeah, so that is basically for end note and footnote. When we come to the citation and bibliography, we shall look at how we can insert these ones as well. Now, you need to add the source of your document. For example, where are you getting your document from? Where are you getting your work from? Which year was it? Who is the author? That's when we use the insert citation. We always insert it at the end of the document so that it appears as the reference. You've seen that. So we shall come at the end of our document and then we say insert citation, add new source. So when you come to add new source, you are given an option of adding the author. Who would be the author? The author of this book, corporate author, the title, year, city, publisher. So after inserting them, you simply say okay and you'll have everything there. I didn't insert anything though. So you can also, we have also the manage source. You can manage the source of this information. I don't have any reference I've put there, but I can show you this and see how it works. So you can manage the source of the information. You can put that information in any style, either APE style, APA style. That is the 6th edition that we are having for this Microsoft. You can change it to Chicago, to Harvard, to anything else as far as your document is concerned. But definitely with a citation and a bibliography, we are basically looking at what source of where do you get your information, what other source do you rely on, which are were they when you're getting your information. Okay, and then bibliography, I've told you about that one. I hope you can even see the templates that we have here. So you can change your templates to any of these ones in case you've inserted the information as we have saw the create citation. And then when we come to caption here, insert caption. You insert the caption whenever we have an image or a table or something like that. So in case, let me get some image here. Let me use an image. If I come and get an image, okay, let me put this image here. Let me make it red to make it real love. You see, every color on a heart has its different meaning. So the blue heart means friendship. I don't know if I'm right, but I guess it is does. So this one means friendship and the red one means love. So I'll keep it blue. I will not go away from the friendship. Let's keep it there. Okay, so in case I wanted to put definitely let me go back to reference. In case I wanted to put a caption on this heart, I'll simply come and say insert caption. So and then this is one, caption 1. It is even already given label 1, so I can say this is friendship. So I'll then say okay. You see that will appear just below at that image. That is going to be our caption. So caption is basically those words that describe whatever the image is doing, whatever is in the image, whatever the shape of the object is having. So that is basically the caption for you. And we looked at, okay, now let's assume you have different kind of captions on or images or figures on different pages. Just like the table of content, here we have insert table of figures. So to make someone easily access all the figures on different pages, let me say you have all these hearts explained on every page. The heart that is meaning friendship, the heart that is meaning hate, the heart that means love, the heart that means something else, on different pages. So to bring them together for someone to easily access them on whatsoever page they are, we insert what we call a table of figures. Insert a table of figures. So that is just like how we inserted the table of content. We wouldn't want to go into details for that because we don't want to prolong this video to be too wide or too long. For the cross reference, use the link for the previous video, that is for part 2. We talked about the cross reference when we were talking about the links. So you can go and get that as well. And then the rest of these other ones are basically the same, like the way we have done for the table of content. As you can see, all of them have update, you get the point. So you just have to insert the index. Here we are inserting the table of authorities that are basically people in charge, all the authors, all the people indefinitely with the rights of the document that you are trying to use, or that the type of work that is indefinitely your work. Yes, that is it for reference. And then we are going to look at mailings. For mailings, we have had a video of mail merge before, so I'll definitely not to waste a lot of time here. Mailings is basically when we are using one kind of letter so that we can come up with different kinds of letters. For example, if I had one letter and I would want to invite definitely other companies to my event, I would use one letter to generate other types of letters, or the same letter to different people in different companies. So mail merge is basically about using that and generating for different people, not to type one letter again, type type another time. So you simply use one document and generate more other documents as far as very many that you want. I'm going to put the link for that video. We have it already down there. So in case you want to learn more of mail merge, just click go to the description, click the link down there, and then don't forget to subscribe so that you can keep updated about what else we are coming with. This has been basically part 3, and we are going to close this chapter in part 4. That is basically going to be ready very soon, I promise on that. And after that, we shall see what other next, depending on the demands in the comments and people inboxing me. I'll definitely look at what else the demand tells us to do. Thank you for watching us on this passion. Thank you for watching Learn ICT with Teacher Isaiah. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you again in part 4.